Sometimes it seems like solving algebraic equations is hard enough before trig functions get into them. But the important thing about algebra is you can do it no matter what's happening here. So we're trying to find all the solutions in the interval 0 to 2 pi that satisfy this equation. So how on earth do I solve an equation? Well, one of the basic principles of algebra is that if I have something equal to 0, if I can factor this left side, then I can set each piece equal to 0. That's called the zero product property. So what common factors do I have here? Well, notice I have a sine x. If you factor sine x out, what do you get? Well, this is sine x times cosine x. This is sine x times 1/2. Okay? So if you notice, if you distribute that, because multiplication is commutative, I can move the sign across. Sine x times cosine x is cosine x times sine x, and so on. Okay, well, then what? Well, the zero product property says if this times that equals 0, then sine x equals 0, or cosine x plus 1/2 equals 0. Well, where is it that sine x is equal to 0 in the unit circle? I'm tremendously attached to pictures because trig functions are fundamentally pictures. So sine of 0, you can think of sine as outputting opposite over adjacent or as giving you the height on the unit circle of the line having that angle. 0 or 180. So x could be 0 degrees. Oops, I'm in radians, aren't I? 0 degrees or pi, 0 radians or pi radians. Those would both give me sine of that x value is 0, which would make both these pieces 0. Alternately, I could have cosine of x equal negative 1/2. I'm subtracting 1/2 to the other side. Okay, well, what picture makes sense there? Cosine I think of as the x value on the unit circle. So if I had a unit circle, I want to know what would give me an x value. Now, you probably have your unit circle memorized, so you remember, hey, that's pi thirds, right? Oops, but I'm at negative 1/2. I guess negative 1/2 is over there. So we ought to not think about having an x value of positive 1/2. We ought to think about a value of negative 1/2. So let's see, what's that? I guess that's 2 pi thirds. That gets us over there. Now, I could also think about this as negative 2 pi thirds. That would get me cosine of negative 2 pi thirds gets me negative 1/2. The problem is 2 pi thirds is lovely. So x equals 2 pi thirds is in the interval I'm required to consider. But this isn't in the interval. Well, I need something that's coterminal with this that's in that interval. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to this angle. I'm going to take negative 2 pi thirds and add to it 2 pi. Now, to add one thing that's a fraction and one that's not, I need a common denominator, so I'm going to make this into thirds. 2 pi is actually 6 pi thirds. So then I have 6 pi and negative 2 pi, so that's 4 pi thirds. And another way to think about this, the positive direction, is that this is 4 pi thirds. Those are the 4 solutions that will make that true.